burgers, nothing better. Take ground beef and take ground beef and just loosely pack it together. Okay, this is all mixed up. Be weird, cook stuff. Everyone thinks of burger patties as one thing. Ground beef, loosely packed, into a disc, then cook hot and fast. The choice is only really in the toppings. But what if we relaxed the definition a little bit? What else is possible? The first one involves some danger. We need to flash fry the outside of some frozen eye of round roast as a food safety precaution. If you are very fancy and go to a very high-end butcher shop that you really know and trust, you might be able to skip frying. No frying fingers or faces, please! This step is to kill all the bacteria on the outside. Using your spider to hold the bottom and tongs to hold the sides, carefully lower a roast into 350-degree oil. Immediately cover the pot with your splatter guard. Fry until there's no pink on the outside and no further. You don't want this to cook well done. Take it out using the same spider tong method as before and place it in an ice bath to stop the cooking process. Once all your roasts are done, place them in the fridge for about a day to finish thawing. Once your roasts are thawed, cut each roast against the grain into 2mm thick slices. This is easiest to do with a deli slicer, but totally doable with a knife and a steady hand. Take those slices and cut them into 6mm wide strips. Now, it's patty time. Okay, place 5 strips down of roughly equal length. Next, fold back strip 1, 3, and 5, and place a strip horizontally above the fold. Unfold the strips. Now, lift strip 2 and 4 from the back, and slide in a horizontal strip. Unfold the strips, and yes, we're making a weave. And just repeat until you have 5 strips horizontally. The next step is easy. Randomly crisscross a bunch of strips on top, lightly seasoning with salt as you go, and top with another weave. Then tuck the weave underneath, making sure that you have a nice tight patty. Let the salt absorb for 8 hours, and cook these hot and fast, assuring a perfect medium rare. I'm topping these with sauteed onions and a roasted red wine peppercorn pan sauce. These are the perfect cross between roast beef and a burger. Juicy, medium rare, and because the beef was cut so thin, they're really tender. For the next patty, you'll need a bit of ground beef and a good steak. I'm thinking a burger with whole chunks of steak mixed among the ground beef. Cut the steak into small cubes. You want the chunks large enough that they don't overcook, but not too large, or the burger may fall apart. This is a little bit of a balancing act, and you're gonna have to play around with this to get it just right. Grab some of your ground beef and start by making patties like you normally would. Now, poke some divots for the steak bits, and tighten some of the ground beef around the steak bits to make sure they are secure and won't fall out. Then, fridge for 10 minutes. Just like a burger or a steak, season both sides right before cooking. Cook hot and fast over a medium-high. Now, this is where I realized slightly smaller steak bites would have helped. None of the patties fell apart, but some were thinking about it, and I had to tell them no. For this mix-up, I went with a mushroom gravy, and this one's really living up to its name. Its texture contrast really adds to the experience. You get tender bits of steak and that nice open textured ground beef. And by not grinding the steak, you get a good flavor contrast too. I highly recommend these. I'm curious what beef patties would be like if I made them more like salmon or shrimp ones. First, these are being put together with medium diced bits of beef and will be bound with eggs, crumbs, and stock. I chilled these for half an hour and tried frying them off, and they just fell apart. But when your cooking results suck, don't rush. just adjust. So I cut the beef down quite a bit more and added flour, another egg, and fried the remaining patties. And those held together. For these, I was thinking kind of rustic flavors. So I applied a thin spread of hot mustard to the bottom bun and some herby stewed tomatoes on top of the patty.
So, these are still quite crumbly. Also, the large amount of binder affects the texture a lot. Using something like tenderloin instead of stewing beef might have helped because it wouldn't have shrunk as much.
Now, these are just my ideas. I want you guys to get into the kitchen and get creative. No need to fear messing up when you could have a new mix-up.